All right, Brad, let's see. Let's go over a couple things we went over. I'm going to leave my capo. It's on the 2nd fret. Well, I thought I was. Yep, I am. Anyway, things we went over a couple of folding scales, starting high, going low. And going up. And we also worked on trying to get some hammer-ons in there. And then some pull-offs. Let's see, anyway, some pull-offs on the descent. You can actually do it on the scale as well. So there was that one, that folding scale, and then there was this other one. And going up. And then we did some arpeggios. We did that's a pretty cool one. And so that's going from the 1 G with the capo on, C, and then the D, and then back to an upper octave G. So that will help you. Trying to do the arpeggios, yeah, the more you can build around the arpeggios. You know, build yourself around those arpeggios quite a bit, because actually there's Doug Burchell, I don't know if you know him, he's from down in the Houston area, great guitar player, good banjo player too, but fabulous, all genres, jazz, bluegrass, mostly jazz and swing, but he, if you listen to him play, he does a lot of arpeggios within some very intricate, and he says they're a great place to come back to when you're, you know, even playing up the neck, he does these little arpeggios. But that was kind of the big thing there. So the other thing we did, let's see if I can make it happen. Where is my phone here? Let's see if I can make it happen here. I'm going to take the earplugs out, and I got to get to a metronome, which I just happen to have one right here, and let's see what it's set. That's too fast. Let's start it around, I'm going to put it on 80, I think. There's 81, and I hope you can hear this. I'm going to put it over here closer, see if I can knock it off. Once you get that, deaden your left hand, use just your right hand. Make that click disappear. And you'll notice I'm going to stop here for a second. One thing that's important, look at my right hand, this rest stroke. I'll tell you, Del McCoury is an expert at that rest stroke. See what I'm doing? I am picking that note, but I am coming to rest on the next string. You use that a lot in bluegrass, but anyway, let's get back to this. So you're doing it really well if you can make that disappear in your own ear, which I'm not doing. But then you can change strings. Add an upstroke. Do it, see I'm doing that with a rest stroke. can even do a cross picking. And if you want, you can actually add a chord. So you can, if you're cross picking, you can add it. You can. So you can get all kinds of different patterns that you can work on in there, but that is very helpful through my phone. You can do that, and you can also do that with your arpeggios and scales. You know, so again, whoops, I slowed it down, and I didn't even mean to. There's 89. And you get the idea, and then as you get better, raise the rate a little bit. Whoa, that's pretty fast. That's 99. I'll see if I can do it. I always, when I started doing these, I found it easier to do all of them descending. It took me a while to go back and get them ascending. So work on them both directions. Let's see, what else did we do? What else did we do? You talked about picking patterns. There's a well-beaten path on this old mountainside that I wandered when I was a lad. There I wandered alone to a place I call home, on those Blue Ridge hills far away. Oh, I love those hills above Virginia. From those Blue Ridge hills I did roam. When I die, won't you bury me on the mountain, far away in my Blue Ridge mountain home. You know, so those are just some ideas. I like to do that. You know, really, it's almost 4/4 time when you do the it's really cross picking rhythm. What else did we work on? I think there was those. Yes, we worked on. So you know, one thing you can start, you can try, make a D chord, a closed D chord. So you have the C position, and we did the Wildwood Flower there. Now we're going to do it in D. So make your same C chord, but make it with one finger bigger than you do, and come back to your G string and get the second fret. And you can only play in that shape while you have your fingers down. You can only play the middle four strings, so the A, D, G, and B string. Whoops! And you got to hit the right note. But once you have that, now you can kind of see. Whoops. You kind of get the idea of doing it out of that shape, and of course that becomes movable. And work on getting that, and kind of studying what your hands are doing, especially your left hand. Your right hand is basically the same, but you can do that with other tunes too. You know, you can pick other tunes and move them around. That'll actually help you do some up the neck. Don't get frustrated not going up the neck though. Steve Kilby, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a great flat pick guitar player, good mandolin player. His wife Penny also plays guitar and plays the auto harp, and they win a lot of contests in Southwest Virginia, which is where they're from. He's from Mouth of Wilson, Virginia, little town there. But he's a great flat picker, and I asked him one time when I was playing with him, you know, you don't play a whole lot up the neck, and he had a couple licks that he would do. He plays, most of what he plays is in first position, and You know, in first position with moderate sized hands, you can reach off. You know, I can reach up to the 5th fret pretty easily. He had a couple licks that he would do up the neck, but pretty much everything he did was in first position, so there's nothing wrong with that. And to be honest with you, that's on the guitar, that's where 95 or more % of what I do. I've got a couple of, you know, I've got a couple licks that I may do up here. You know, but I don't go up the neck very often on a break. You know, I am a strong believer, adherent to the KISS principle when it comes to music. Stick as close as you can to the melody, especially the first time through. In fact, play the melody the first. If you get only one break, stick to the melody unless you're the last of a single break and everybody else is stuck to the melody. If that's true, you can get a little fancy on your first break. But if your first break is early in the tune, then, you know, the way I usually put it, you may have heard me say, you got to show people you know the tune. You got to show people you know the tune. If you know it, you got to play the melody. I think that was everything. Anyway, I enjoyed it. Take care. Be careful in Wisconsin. See ya.